I turned this dull space into an incredible dream desk setup. This entire setup was created by me, from a solid wood table with a monitor riser to an overhead shelf-cum-task light, guitar frame, poster frames, and much more. In this video, I will guide you through the cost involved in setting up everything and the mistakes I made. Yes, I made a lot of mistakes during this entire setup that I wouldn't want to repeat if I had to start from zero. So, if you are on a tight budget and want to create your own aesthetically pleasing desk setup, this video is for you. Towards the end, I will also answer whether it's worth doing DIY for everything or not. It all starts with a makeover to build the ultimate creative studio without breaking the bank. As this is my first time doing a makeover, I wanted to learn as I went. The first thing I wanted was a desk setup that is comfortable, functional, and visually appealing. There are plenty of options for the desk, such as IKEA countertop sitting on top of Alex drawers, not less than 15,000, and it's not even a solid wood table. This makeover started in November 2024. At that time, IKEA was not delivering anything in Delhi. My go-to choice was a motorized standing desk, which is very popular. But again, it was not less than 20,000. Maybe someday I'll get one or get sponsored by a brand. Till then, I choose the pocket-friendly way. To build the table, I purchased 2 pinewood planks from a local timber shop. These were 10 feet long and 9 inches wide, each for 1,500. I cut them in half. That gave me 4 planks, 3 for the table and 1 for riser. I sanded it with 80 grit sandpaper, then with 150. I did not go all the way to 300 because I was lazy. I applied some wood filler to the knots and sanded it later. You can use the dust collected from the sanding machine with a mix of glue as a wood filler. Then I waterproofed it with polyurethane, which was not a good experience. I initially mixed polyurethane in a wrong way, but later I fixed it. It had a very strong smell. The entire space smelled of polyurethane, which stayed for days. So the best thing is to use it outside in the open. Searching on Amazon and YouTube, I found these metal legs. I got it made by a local welder, which cost me 2,700 with a slightly thicker material. After placing 3 planks, I marked the holes and drilled the legs with a screw. And added these L bracket for additional support. I should have asked the local welder to add L bracket on both sides. I didn't have a hand planer or a machine planer to straighten the planks, so I let it be imperfect. It is the best way to start. Later, I will cover it with the desk mat. Now for the monitor riser, I bought these 4 iron legs for $600 from Amazon. These were expensive in a local hardware shop, $300 for one. The desk is 27 inch deep and 60 inches wide. I would have preferred an 8 feet wide desk, but for now, this fits perfectly according to the layout and budget. Now that the desk was complete, I thought of turning the studio dark and moody. For that, I designed a mood board. I placed all the items I would want in my studio space. However, as I proceeded, things continued to change according to new ideas. I had to consider a bit of superstition. Based on Vastu, I checked the correct direction for creative and progressive work. Then began the paint job. I chose a dark grey as the paint color. Not the best decision, you will understand why soon.
We've had enough of this nonsense.
This room hardly gets any natural light, especially after painting the walls dark. Yes, I made a mistake painting both the walls dark grey I could have avoided this bigger wall to let the natural light bounce off. Now I have to light up this desk area. And for that, I thought of making this overhead task light, which I took inspiration from Matthew and Sina. A big thanks to him for the amazing idea. To make this, I cut a piece from a leftover wood for the base. I took 1 by 1 of pine wood strips. After sanding, I trimmed them according to the required size. To hang the shelf on the wall, I installed 2 L brackets which I got from Amazon for 600 bucks. To get an equal reflection throughout the box, I used aluminum foil. A 5 meter LED strip was more than enough. I cut a 3 meter length to install. To stick the LED, I used wire hooks and double-sided tape. To cover the box and get the soft light, I used a nylon sheet which you can find easily in any local clothing shop. It's quite expensive online. I stretched the fabric tight and secured it with a staple gun. I screwed the strip around the base. I did not paste it with the glue. If required, I can make changes later. I think I had a hard time installing the LED strip. I must have tried 4 to 5 times before I made peace with the outcome. At first, I saw this big black spot which was the power adapter, and it bothered me so much. Then I thought of replacing the 3 meter LED with 2 meter, and there was uneven lighting spot. I somehow got rid of the spot and uneven lighting. I will make a detailed separate video on the light setup, but towards the end, it turned out to be the most functional overhead task light. This was originally a hanging light which I bought from a Bhagirathi place in Delhi. It cost me 350 rupees without a bulb. Later, I turned it into a desk lamp. Another light I added was this halo light, as popularly known for its halo effect. I got it from Amazon for 350 rupees, and it's working good till now. This is RGB light and comes with the USB Type A connection. Just use any old USB Type A adapter and you're good to go. The wire is 2 feet long. The best part, it has a power on-off switch and comes with a cheap remote. The only thing that is not great about this light is that you have to manually select the color each time you switch it on. This pumpkin lamp was another addition which looks amazing. I used the parts of an old lamp which was hanging in this room. Luckily, they were good enough to DIY this pumpkin lamp. Making a guitar frame was the easiest part. I was left with the last piece of plywood sheet, which I had already kept separate. With pine wood strips and 2 hooks to hang the board on the wall, the guitar frame was done in very short time. Adding poster will always enhance your setup, so I decided to get few posters. For A2 size poster, I joined 2 A3 posters together. This saved me some money, but I wouldn't do it again as this was just an experiment. Each A3 poster was for 20 rupees printed from Nehru Place. Details will be in description. These days you can learn most things on YouTube, so I followed that approach. However, in reality it is not always straightforward, and making poster frames turned out to be the most difficult task. My idea was to make a frame with 1 by 1 pine wood strip and join the edges with a 45-degree cut. To achieve the cut, I set up a temporary solution through several attempts. I measured the size of A2 posters and added a ½ inch extra to both ends of each strip so that there is ½ inch space for groove where I would fit the MDF and picture. To join these, I used a Stanley brand clamp with some glue and left it for a few hours to dry. Now I had to understand how would I make a groove to fit in the picture and MDF. and I understood I made a mistake. I should have made group before joining all 4 sites. Now using a router bit was too difficult. This is blocking me from going to this site. Come from this and I can go like this. After giving up, I decided to just paste and nail the frames around the edges. I initially thought of keeping the natural pinewood tone with dark grey walls, but it was drawing attention away from the desk. To blend in with the dark walls, I spray painted them black. I really loved the idea of having a pinboard on the other side of the wall. Buying it online would again cost me 2000 to 3000 for the size I wanted. But I had some MDF and 1x1 pine strip left, so I searched for a way to DIY it. With some glue, old cotton cloth and a thermocol sheet, it turned out to be useful. But after some time, MDF started bending. That was not the worst part. During the rainy season, it started to catch mold. This can be resolved by putting a coat of PU sealant. DIY takes up a lot of your time, and sometimes it's better to just buy things than make them. I would prefer to buy frames than making it, because it took a lot of my time, effort and money. All of these DIY were done on different days, I would say in different months. It took so much of my time that I could not even complete this entire setup for almost 6 months. Although it was fun, but I learnt it hard way not to DIY everything. The amount I spent on buying the equipments to make frames is almost equal to buying frames from a local shop. For now, I am happy with the makeover. With time, I will keep on changing or adding new things. Now, there are 3 different costs involved in the studio makeover. 1. Paint cost. Just under 2000 rupees I was able to paint 2 of the walls in my room. To be honest, it was quite hectic and tiring. It took me 2 days to complete the paint job. Second, table cost. The table turned out to be the most budget-friendly DIY for just 7500 rupees. I managed to create a solid table that will last me forever. If I want to change the desk in the future, I can repurpose this as another working table. Third, other DIY. My initial idea was to make 10 A2 sized picture frames out of a 10 feet by 4 feet MDF board and 10 1x1 strips. I calculated the DIY price per frame 450 compared to the cost of buying from a local shop 1000 to 1200 rupees. In the end, doing it myself turned out to be more expensive as I kept on adding new tools, and now I'm not sure if I would use them frequently in the near future. Over time, I changed my mind and added a guitar frame, an overhead task light and a pinboard. In the end, I made 3 A2 size and 2 A3 size frames. Pinboard only cost me 100 rupees for thermocol and pins. The wood and the MDF were used from leftovers. Well, I have no regrets. I learnt a lot throughout the process and it felt like a journey of problem solving. The whole idea was to do makeover without blowing a lot of money, and somehow I achieved it. In Studio Makeover, I made 2 large pegboards. I have created a full step-by-step video on it, which turned out to be amazing. You should check it out. Link will be in description. If you have any question, you can comment down below. Don't forget to like, and there will be more videos on tech, makeover and studio space. So subscribe the channel. I would be more active once the makeover series is done. There are 2 to 3 more episodes left. Till then, have fun, enjoy your DIY. This way, because it has to cut this way. So I will use this as a